Hello everyone, I'm John and this is Just the Gearhead. In today's episode we're going to try to get the frames actually swapped around today, so stay tuned. Alright, so like I said, today we're going to try to get the Oldsmobile frame underneath the Buick and get them swapped around, so then I can start building body mounts and stuff for it. Off screen I did measure where there's two body mounts that should land on the frame with just a few spacers. So for the rubber bushings, body mounts that I'll get later. But yeah, so I'm going to drill those two holes and then we're going to jack up the car, get the dollies out from under it, because I don't think I'm going to have enough clearance or height to clear the tires without getting the dollies out from under them. And then we'll see if we can't get them rearranged. Should be fun. Alright, like I said, off screen I measured out a couple of body spots where body mounts will go through. One's up here, one's back here. They're pretty level to the bottom of the car. I believe this one's actually just up a little, so when I get the bushings I'll have to get a slightly thicker one from up here than for back here. But yeah, so I'm just going to hit them with the center punch and drill them out with my step drill, and hopefully they will cut through nicely. Here's why you don't buy cheap bits. It literally, this caught and it snapped the shaft right off. So I had another one, it wasn't quite as big, but got all the holes drilled, and so we'll see about getting the steering column on the Buick disconnected. And yeah, once we get that, I think that's the only other thing that needs to be disconnected on the Buick before we can try to lift the body off. Alright, so to disconnect the steering column, there's a nut here which should release this clamp. And there's two nuts underneath the dash where the steering column meets the dash. Take those off and should be able to slide the steering column into the driver's compartment. This shift bracket may hit the firewall, and if that happens, there's a plate that holds the steering column and the brake master cylinder, I guess. That's like a plate that makes up covers this hole in the floor. So I might have to undo that whole plate and pull this whole piece into the interior more to get it to release from the gear drive. But we'll see how it goes. And yeah, so I'll start with this nut here and then we'll do the other two. Alright, so hopefully you guys can kind of see from there, but there's a nut and bolt here and nut bolt there. So one that holds this bracket in place. We're going to do those two, probably just enough to loosen this off, and then we'll try pulling the steering column up. Seems to be still stuck on something, so let's go see if we can find out what that is. Alright, I went back out there and hit the end of it with a hammer. It seems to loosen it a bit, but I think I have to take this bracket completely off. Alright, so after fighting with it for a while, I managed to get that much of the steering column separated, but it looks like I am going to have to undo that plate and pull that stuff into the cab to get it off. The actual manual I have doesn't actually give a very good description of how to remove this steering column, so I'm having lots of fun. First off, I'm going to take off this rubber cover here, and then we'll see about taking off this metal plate. I had to take the steering wheel, the floor plate, the brake, and the brake master cylinder off just to get the steering column off, which did not get this stupid shaft out of the way. And I guess that's actually the steering shaft or whatever, because I have to get that out of the way before the body can be lifted. So I already have this here mostly loosened. See, here's pretty loose. But I'm going to have to try to get the nut off the bottom of the pitman arm. Alright, so it's the next day, fighting with that steering column. That ate up a lot of time yesterday, so after I finally got that out, I decided to call it for a day. So today, I think I've got everything prepped to get the body swap done. right, so that'll be it for this episode of Just the Gearhead. I'm obviously a little tired. It took quite a bit of effort for me and the wife to get the frames swapped out, but we did get the cutless frame underneath the Buick. I had to cut off the last foot of the frame where that little upturn was. So now that it'll sit down. It's still not quite sitting the way I want. I have a block in the back to get it roughly level, but it's still sitting a little up too high, so I'm going to have to do some modifications when I do the body mounts. But anyways, so thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want merchandise, there's a description in the description. There is the link to my Redbubble page, which has t-shirts and cups and all types of stuff on it. And so go check that out. And also we're on Facebook and Instagram now. So yeah, please check us out. And thanks again. See you next time.